New York City just received critical federal approval for a first-in-the-nation plan to supposedly reduce congestion in some of the most trafficked areas in Manhattan. But just like clockwork, it hasn't even been a month since those wildfires. Look at that, to improve air quality. Oh, as I've said, and I'm not the only one, absolutely every outrageous authoritarian boondoggle will be chalked up to the climate. This is not about air pollution, it's not about safety, and it's not about the weather. Under this plan, certain parts of Manhattan could cost up to $23 a day to drive through. Before we get into it, let's just start big picture. The average global annual salary is just over $12,000 a year. And currently, 1 billion people worldwide live on less than $1 a day. According to this article, they say that they're going to charge big tolls in an effort to reduce traffic, improve air quality, and raise funds for the transit system. Okay, first of all, something like this is not going to reduce traffic, and what it does reduce will be negligible. The only reduction of traffic will be from poor people not being able to afford it. All the businesses, all they're going to do is charge that to the customer. It's the cost of doing business. It's $23 to drive through here now. All those restaurants, all those essential services in those zones, everything will just cost more to the person, the taxpayer. The next part is improving air quality. The same amount of cars are still going to be able to drive through this zone. They'll just have to pay for it. It won't improve the air quality. They'll just have to pay it. And what does $23 a day mean to a person that's running a large business or a person that has any money? It's nothing. And the amount of poor people it's going to reduce from driving through there is not going to affect the air quality. You're talking about passenger vehicles, sedans. If you really cared about air quality, you would reduce the private jets that fly in and out of the city. But of course not, they won't do that because this is complete elitism. And of course, more surveillance, as they're going to have to collect all these tolls, right? How do you think they're going to do that? Here's a record of your car coming in, here's a record of your car coming out. Eventually, it'll be attached inside your car and they'll just bill you. And technically, they already do that anyway. Now the next is to raise funds for the city's public transit system. Oh, don't worry guys, it's going to raise funds for the transit system. Kind of like in 2022 when the city of New York spent $30 million on a 28-step staircase in Times Square. $30 million. And then they built a 4,600 square foot mosaic or something from some artist that's based in Chicago. They couldn't even hire a New York-based artist to squander taxpayer money on some useless staircase. So clearly it's not about raising funds for the transit system, it's not about reducing the traffic, it's not about the air quality, it's just about getting the poor people out of there. But look at this. Look at this quote from the MTA chair and CEO. Less traffic, better transit, cleaner air, and safer streets. New York City has been experiencing record violent crime, but don't worry guys, because charging someone $23 to drive through, it's gonna make it safer. So instead of driving, you can just walk and get shanked. But here it comes, you ready for it? Less congestion, less pollution. It will improve public health and combat climate. It will benefit the lowest income communities of color. Bro, what? It's going to help communities of color and those with low income because you're going to charge people more money to drive through these areas. Okay. Yo, any wealthy person that lives in Manhattan would just park wherever they want. If you had $100 million, are you going to care about getting a speeding ticket or a traffic ticket or a parking ticket? No. Are you going to care about $23 to drive through? No, but it will make the roads clearer for you and all of your other wealthy elite friends. This is not going to benefit any community of color and certainly not any essential worker. They just say all the buzzwords, but people are so clueless they don't even pay attention to what they're saying. Their first step is to say it's about saving the environment. The second step is to say that it protects communities of color and low-income communities. The third step is to lie and say that it's safer. Because if you say that you don't like any of those things, oh, well, you hate the environment, you hate the planet, you hate poor people, you hate people of color. There's no response. They trap you. This makes the elites wealthier. It pushes the poor out of these areas. It raises the cost of living to all the middle class people, pushing them out. That exact same supposed pollution and air pollution goes elsewhere, doesn't go away. The state, the city, the county extract more of your hard-earned tax dollars for nothing, and then they squander it on things like a $30 million staircase or a $10 million elevator. They surveil you with these devices that are supposedly there to collect the tolls so you pay your fair share. And at the end of it all, this is just yet another limiting movement control. Because if they don't limit it by force, then they'll limit it by money. If you're too poor to drive through these areas, you don't get to drive. But don't worry, guys, because it's saving the planet. Remain clueless.